Welcome back, and what on earth is that horrible noise? It is not the noise it should be making. It sounds like... ooh, well, that's just terrible. So this is why we're looking at this record player today. Let's have a little closer look, shall we? And see what we can void on this warranty. Oh, that's quite annoying. I don't know why it's doing that, but clearly it's not a good thing. So I'm going to turn that off. No, I'm going to turn it down. It's got a stop button. That's not working either. I think we're going to have to unplug it because that's too annoying. So the nicest thing about this is the very delicate tone arm, which is something I've always wanted to do, which is somewhat akin to opening the door of your car in a parking garage and backing up and ripping off the door. And that is doing this. There we go. But that's not quite what I really wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. So many times I've been told, be careful, don't bend this, don't break it, it's delicate. Well, it's not delicate anymore. So, what is inside a record player? Apart from a tone arm with a diamond cartridge on the end where the diamond has long since gone away. This is a Pioneer PL-990 full automatic squealing turntable. It doesn't say that, but you heard it here first. So this is the platter. These dots are so that at different frequencies, 60 or 50 hertz, when you look into this little window, the dots will, by stroboscopic effect, appear to be not moving, and then you can adjust the speed until they stay stationary, whether you're on 45 RPM, 33 RPM, at different hertz rates of electricity. In the United States, I believe we're on 60 hertz. In the UK, where I came from, and in the rest of the civilized world, the metric system, not the duodecimal system, we are on 50 hertz. So you need to know which one it is. So first things first, lovely belt. Lovely belt. These things are pretty simple. There really isn't much more to it than this, apart from the actuating arm, which is driven off the central motor. You can see the action there. This is what we're really here for, is the motor. Let's have a look in the back and see what we can find. Those just remove the feet, they do not remove the thing. Back in the day, these were a good indication that these were the screws you needed to remove to get the thing apart. A lot of the time these days they don't have those anymore because the idea is you don't get inside them to fix them, you throw them away. This is pretty much on the cusp of throw it away if it goes wrong, which is what happened in this case. So allow me to remove these screws. Interestingly, there are markings on the back for 45 and 33 RPM, Lin, Ret and SW. Return, I'm guessing. I don't know what that means. Let's see if we can get in. Oop, one screw left. Whenever you're prying something like this apart, if it doesn't come apart easily, it means you've left a screw behind you. Voila, look at that. One motor and a whole bunch of bits. This is probably why it stopped working. These are probably meant to be connected to this actuating arm. This is all a little delicate. Mechanical switch and an electrical switch. potentiometer for the speed, stroboscopic indicator, various bits and pieces that do God knows what. But again, we'll harvest some springs and some bell cranks. These bits of wire are probably quite useful for Lord knows what. We may have a bit of difficulty with this motor. It looks like it requires more than just a simple 12 volts or whatever. But we can find that out by plugging it back in again and seeing what happens. Well, it's quietened down some. But without the belt to operate the big cogged gear here, we're probably not going to get much out of it. But let's see how many volts this needs. Enter the trusty Radio Shack voltmeter. It's a terrible piece of junk, but eight volts, 9 volts, 11.5 volts, 11.2 volts. So a variety. We appear to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wires going into that, and a transformer that's putting out a variety of different voltages. Some diodes to convert the AC into DC, 2 going each way, and then it's kind of an H bridge, though it doesn't look like an H bridge. So let's unplug it and hack out that motor. Whenever you're cutting wires off, cut as much as you need, but never cut it short. Never cut it back down here, because why? Now you can trim these, tin them, and have them the length you want. So let's see if we can make this work. First of all, we'll need to strip some wires. So we've extracted the motor, and we've noted that these wires are duplicates, so we've just got down to the 4 that we need, and I'm going with the old-fashioned red is positive, black is negative, and we'll try that. I'll put a bit of tape on the end so we can see if it's moving or not. And again, back to the trusty train transformer. Quick tip, if you're going to be doing this, what I find it easier to do, because very fine wires and crocodile clips, this is the crocodile clip, crocodiles, don't go very well together. If you fold the wire back over itself, it gives the crocodile clip a little bit more to bite onto. And always start it in the 0 position, just in case you're creating a short circuit that will fry your transformer. And as ever, let's turn on the on switch. Ooh, why does everything around here need WD-40? Much better. So again, this is some kind of synchronous motor. So whether I'm giving it, that is probably 4 volts, and this is 14 volts. And the speed doesn't really change between 5. I can feel the vibration in it. It doesn't like it very much, but it's not really doing that much in this range at all, changing the speed. So useful for some things. It has a fair amount of torque. The torque does increase as the voltage goes up. But very, very, very quiet, which is a nice feature. So that's a nice little motor. Not a variable speed motor though, sadly. Let's have a look at the transformer, shall we? And before we go any further, let's unplug it. Yep, that is unplugged. Very simple, cheap little transformer. Two in, two out. Doesn't really have information that I can understand anyway. But it's putting out 8 volts. It's taking 120 volts from here, from the brown line, and putting out 8 volts. So there's that. There are a bunch of little micro switches. Well, they're not micro switches, they're actually little mechanical relays, and some nice bell crank mechanisms. We may harvest a few of these, and a spring or two. Speed controller for the motor, but it only operates in a tiny range, so really not of any use to us for this speed control here. If it goes between 32 and 34 RPM, that's not really much use. But again, we'll probably save some of these wires. So let me finish taking it apart and present what we have. So what exactly did we get out of the Pioneer PL-990? A very nicely machined and weighted platter turntable with a bearing. I believe it's a bushing, not a ball bearing. Comes with its own little black frisbee. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? A 120 to 8 volt, 6 volt nominal probably, transformer, a power cord, a short length of RCA connector, a lovely belt, some screws, bits of plastic, some springy bits, and some nice light formed wire armatures. And that is about it. See you next time on Void Your Warranty.